Hello children, how are you all? Welcome in your English grammar class with your book Pebbles of Grammar Class 8 by Magic Mind from Galaxy Publications. Let's start children, chapter number 12, the phrase and the... फिर से बोल रही हूँ. Let's start children, chapter number 12 here, the phrase and the clause. Let's learn. सबसे पहले देखते हैं the phrase. The phrase is a group of words that does not make complete sense on its own. ये एक ऐसा group of words होते हैं जो अपने आप में कोई भी complete sense नहीं बनाते. It becomes meaningful only when joined with other words in a sentence. इनका मतलब तभी साफ होता है जब ये sentence में दूसरे words के साथ join किए जाते हैं. Think of a phrase as a half idea. To make it a full idea, we must add some words. Example है on the table. This is incomplete. Running fast, incomplete. Now see how they become complete in sentences. The book is on the table. The boy is running fast. Classification of phrases है noun phrase, adjective phrase and adverb phrase. Noun phrase में आते हैं. A noun phrase works like a noun in a sentence. Okay, naming a person, place, thing or idea. Example: a bunch of flowers smells sweet. What smells sweet? A bunch of flowers. So this is noun phrase. We love watching movies on weekends. What do we love? Watching movie on weekends. This is noun phrase. Early to bed is a good habit. We enjoy playing cricket. In sentence 3, the phrase early to bed answers the question, what is good? The phrase early to bed is therefore the object of the verb and acts as a noun. So it is a noun phrase. Okay. Now in sentence 4, the phrase playing cricket answers the question, what asked to the verb enjoy what? The phrase playing cricket is therefore the object of the verb. Okay, ये है तो object but acts as a noun, so it is a noun phrase. Now adjective phrase देखेंगे. An adjective phrase works like an adjective. ये एक adjective की तरह काम करता है, so it describes a noun. Okay, जो adjective का काम होता है. Example: the box full of chocolates was on the table. Here the phrase full of chocolates describes the noun box. So the phrase full of chocolate is an adjective phrase. I met a man with long hair. Here the phrase with long hair describes the noun man. So the phrase with long hair is an adjective phrase. Solomon spoke words full of wisdom. Same इसी तरह यहाँ पर phrase full of wisdom describe कर रही है noun को words. Okay, and therefore acts as an adjective, so it is an adjective phrase. अब आते हैं हम adverb phrase पर. An adverb phrase works like an adverb. ये एक adverb की तरह काम करता है. It tells more about a verb, adjective or another adverb, how, when, where, why. Example देखेंगे. She spoke in a polite manner. How did she speak? In a polite manner. It describes the verb spoke, so the phrase in a polite manner is an adverb phrase. They will arrive after a few minutes. When will they arrive? After a few minutes. It describes the verb arrive, so the phrase after a few minutes is an adverb phrase. अब आते हैं हम the clause पर. A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a predicate, something said about the subject. Unlike a phrase which is incomplete, a clause can sometimes make full sense. कभी कभी ये बिल्कुल complete लगता है. Example: the dog barked loudly. Here subject is dog, predicate है barked loudly. As it has a subject and a predicate, it is a clause which is complete. When the bell rang. Here subject is bell, predicate rang, but needs more words to be complete. Okay, इसको और words चाहिए sentence को complete होने के लिए. As it has a subject and a predicate, it is a clause which is dependent on another part of the sentence. Okay, so a clause can be complete. ये complete भी हो सकती है. and dependent on another part of the sentence. सेंटेंस के दूसरे पार्ट पर ये डिपेंड भी कर सकता है. टाइप्स ऑफ क्लॉज में आएंगे. अ क्लॉज कैन बी मेन क्लॉज और सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज. सो देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ क्लॉजेज, मेन क्लॉज एंड सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज. सबसे पहले देखेंगे हम मेन क्लॉज, जिसे हम कहते हैं इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज. अ मेन क्लॉज मेक्स कंप्लीट सेंस ऑन इट्स ऑन. A main clause does not need any other part of a sentence. Examples देखेंगे. The children are playing in the park. He is my best friend. Both sentences have subject plus predicate and stand alone. Okay? Now subordinate clause पर आएंगे, जो कि होता है dependent clause. A subordinate clause looks like a sentence but cannot stand alone. A subordinate clause depend on the main clause for meaning. Example, I know that she is honest. Here main clause is I know and subordinate clause क्या है? That she is honest. He will come if you invite him. Here main clause is he will come and subordinate clause है if you invite him. Subordinate clause का classification. Subordinate clause is classified into three types: noun clause, adjective clause, adverb clause. Noun clause देखें. A noun clause works like a noun in a sentence. Subject, object, complement in apposition to a noun or pronoun. Example देखेंगे. What you said is true. Subject of the verb said. Okay. What she says seems true. Subject of the verb seems. I don't know where she lives. Object of the verb no. She asked him how handsome he was. So object of the verb asked. My belief is that hard work brings success. Compliment, ये compliment है. Talks about the subject belief. His wish is that he becomes a doctor. Compliments talks about the subject wish. He was punished for what he had done. Object of a preposition for. Don't judge her by what she says. Object of the preposition by. You must always remember this, that work is worship. So in apposition to the pronoun this. Do you still believe that lie, that it was Dhruv who broke the window pane? In apposition to noun lie. So children, when a noun follows another noun or pronoun to describe it, जब एक noun दूसरे noun या pronoun को describe करने के लिए उसे follow करती है, the second noun is said to be apposition to the first. A noun clause doing the work of a noun is therefore in apposition to the noun it describes. In sentence 9, the noun clause is in the apposition to the pronoun this. Okay? And in sentence 10, the noun clause is in apposition to the noun lie. Now we come on the adjective clause, that is relative clause. An adjective clause works like an adjective, describes a noun. An adjective clause usually begins with who, whom, whose, which, that. The book that I borrowed is very interesting. The girl who is wearing a red dress is my cousin. This is the place where we first met. अब आते हैं adverb clause पर. An adverb clause works like an adverb, जैसे कि ये बताती है how, when, where, why, condition and contrast. An adverb clause often begins with word like when, where, because, although, if, unless, so, that, as, if, since, before, after, as soon as, unless, provided that. Okay? Example, we stayed indoor because it was raining. So ये है reason. I will wait here until you return. Time बता चल रहा है यहाँ पर. She speaks as if she knows everything. Manner, I won't go unless you come with me. This is condition. Now the relative clause in detail. Relative clauses are a type of adjective clause. they describe a noun and begin with relative pronoun. जैसे कि who, whom, whose, which, that, or relative adverbs when, where. Who for people we use who for people in place of he, she or they. Example आप खुद से पढ़ेंगे. एक मैं आपके लिए पढ़ रही हूँ. The teacher who taught us last year is very kind. Which or that हम use करते हैं things के लिए, which is used only for things but that is used much more often. This is the phone which I bought yesterday. Rest example read yourself. Other uses of that पर आएंगे after adjectives in the superlative degree. We often use that after a superlative to introduce more information about the noun. Mount Everest is the highest peak that climbers dream of scaling. Okay, this is the most delicious meal that I have ever eaten. Rest example read yourself. Here that helps identify which one is the superlative group we are talking about. After words like all, any, anything, none, nothing, etc., that is used to give essential information about all, any, none, etc. Example, she read everything that was written on the notice board. Okay. Rest example read yourself children. Prepositions in relative clauses देखेंगे हम. Sometimes a relative clause, कभी कभी जो एक relative clause होता है can end with a preposition. वो एक preposition से भी end किया जा सकता है. In such cases, the relative pronoun that or which may be used or omitted. Example, she is the teacher that we look up to. Here to is a preposition at the end of the relative clause. This is the house which I was born in. Here the preposition in comes in the end. Now, these are the rules that we should abide by. Okay, here is a note. In everyday English, it is very common to place the preposition at the end and even omit that or which. Alternative, more formal position of prepositions. She is the teacher to whom we look up. This is the house in which I was born. These are the rules by which we must abide. Now, whose. Whose is used to show possession. The boy whose bike was stolen is very upset. I met a woman whose paintings are famous worldwide. Although whose is used for people, sometimes it can be used for things as well. Okay, हम इन्हें चीज़ों के लिए भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Whom देखेंगे आप, objective form होती है ये who की. Whom is used in place of him, her, them as the objective form of who. The person whom we met on the way is my uncle. Less formal, the person we met yesterday is my uncle. The person who we spoke to on the way is my uncle. Okay? The sentence can be written by omitting whom or who as follows. The person we spoke to was very polite. This kind of expression is more common now in spoken English. Next is where. We use it for place. Where is used to refer to a place and it is used instead of there. This is the park where I used to play. They went to the city where her aunt lives. Joining sentences with relative clauses. We can join two sentences with the help of a relative clause. Example है, without relative clause देखेंगे पहले. I met a boy. He is very intelligent. This is the car. I bought it last year. अब relative clause के साथ देखेंगे. I met a boy who is very intelligent. This is the car that I bought last year. Okay, children. Now let's practice. Exercise A. Underline the phrases in these sentences and identify them. Okay. The old man with a long beard walked slowly. So with a long beard, and this is adjective phrase. She spoke in a very polite manner. This is adverb phrase, in a very polite manner. The child was full of excitement. Adjective phrase, full of excitement. We decided to rest under the big banyan tree. This is adverb, okay? Adverb phrase under the big banyan tree. Okay children, rest आपके लिए मैंने underline किए हुए हैं. Now you will identify them yourself. Underline the clauses in these sentences and identify them. I believe that honesty is the best policy. So underline मैंने आपके लिए यहाँ किया हुआ है. This is noun clause. The teacher praised the boy who answered all the questions correctly or who answered all the questions correctly. Adjective clause. You can sit wherever you like. Adverb clause. It is true that the earth revolves around the sun. This is noun clause. The man who lives next door is a doctor. Adjective clause. He left the meeting early because he was not feeling well. Adverb clause. Next part of this exercise, children, you will complete yourself. We come on the exercise C. So the exercise C is fill in the blanks with noun, adjective or adverb clause. The harvest is good this year because the weather was good. He is the man who helped me. No one knows when he will return. She danced so beautifully that everyone applauded. We have a kitchen garden where we grow vegetables. Nobody voted for him because he was unpopular. These two sentences, please complete yourself. Now exercise D is match the columns. So आपको column A को column B से match करना है children. You will complete this exercise yourself. Same, you have exercise E here. Join the following pairs of sentences with relative clause. Okay. So, I met a girl. आगे आपको बनाना है. फिर से बोल रही हूँ ये exercise भी. Join the following pair of sentences with relative clause. So, children, you will do this exercise also in your homework. आपको इन्हें join करना है. इन pair of sentences को इनके relative clauses के साथ. Children, this chapter ends here. I hope that this is clear to you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.